In order to escape reincarnation, the Egyptians are telling us through symbolism. This was not meant to be taken literally, nor was this a real person. It's all symbolism. Today, we use symbols such as letters to create words. These symbols we use are to represent sound vibrations we make with our mouth. However, the ancients were the opposite. They used different symbols to represent different thought forms and different levels of consciousness and various aspects of life. Here we see Anubis. Anubis is the ancient Egyptian god of the dead. Now, he was not a real god, but he represents death, an aspect of life that we will go through. Anubis depicted with these scales. On the left, we have a heart. On the right, we have a feather. And these scales are equal. They are balanced. This is an instruction for when we die, because consciousness is for eternal. Because consciousness is eternal. Our physical body is mortal. So the instructions are telling us to make our heart to be as light as a feather. Our heart represents our consciousness, our soul. Most people die with a very heavy consciousness. Their mind, their emotions are still attached to worldly things. They still desire money, fame while they die. And when we die in this state, our consciousness is very heavy, still having many attachments to our heart, which is the reason why many people reincarnate. Because in order to pass on to the afterlife, to the astral plane, and to ascend to higher realms of the astral, you have to give up the worldly pleasures of the physical material world, because in that plane you cannot fulfill your physical desires, and you will suffer if you cannot fulfill them, and you'll end up reincarnating back to the physical plane. So in order to ascend, your consciousness needs to be as light as a feather. Just like the emerald tablets of Thoth tell you, each soul is weighed as to its light. If found heavy, it must return to the lessons of the earth. If found light, it passes into freedom. The freedom is the astral plane, where you can think and manifest anything at the click of a finger. Whatever you think, you manifest. It's the plane of imagination, that screen in your mind. Your imagination is your biggest tool for when you die. People are always asking me, what happens when you die? I'm going to explain this for you in the most detailed way possible. When you die, you do not leave your body. Your body is producing a simulation that your consciousness is experiencing. So when this body dies, the simulation is no longer being ran, and you are left with your internal spiritual world. You have an external physical body and an internal world of thought and emotion. The internal, what you do not see, is eternal. The universe is mental. Everything exists within the mind. Every physical object you see around you was a thought manifested into reality. When you're stripped of your physical reality, you're left with the plane of imagination. Thoughts are just thoughts, but the bodies of thoughts is imagination. For example, thoughts are just the thought of a chair, but then once you imagine the chair, that imagination is the body of the thought of the chair. This imagination screen you have in your mind is a dimension called the astral plane or the spirit realm. Depending if you have a mind filled with negative thoughts or positive thoughts will depend what astral plane you will go to. Whatever you think is what you will manifest as your astral body. If you have negative thoughts, you will manifest as a low vibrational entity within the astral plane. To go even deeper, you can ascend out of the astral plane above the mental plane into the soul plane. However, I'm not going to talk about that in this video. You need to prepare for life after death because you cannot fulfill your physical desires in the spiritual astral plane. Therefore, you need to cast off any bondage and addiction you have in your physical world so that you can actually function and not suffer from not fulfilling your desires in the astral plane. So to put this in simple words, this is your external body, and when you close your eyes, you have an internal body. That internal body never dies. Writing is a rite, which is a ritual, because writing words conditions your subconscious mind. Your signature is sign your nature. Your signature is your sigil. Think of me, revival of wisdom. You have an idea in your mind. That idea is an energy, a thought form, and this signature represents that thought form energy. In magic, you use symbols to impress your subconscious mind with different thought forms to create that reality. Breath has eth, which is ether. You don't just breathe air, you breathe in ether, which is life force, consciousness. Yahweh is the inhale then exhale of breath. Just listen closely to your breath, you'll hear it. Death has the word ether in it, because all energy, all life comes out of the ether and returns back to it. Life is an infinite cycle of energy. Life rearranged is fire.
being recorded by the eyes and stored within the subconscious mind. Sacred rearranged is scared, because they made you scared of all of the sacred symbols, so that you don't do your research. Words hold secret esoteric meanings. You'll never understand what I'm saying unless you study them. Stars are portals that lead into the astral plane. This is why the word astral has star within it. As above, so below. Whatever happens in the astral happens in the physical. It's a mirror. And this is why the Masons have the 2 pillars. It represents the number 11. As above, so below. The mirroring effect of reality. And this is why astrology is so important, because it can foretell the future. The Bible even says this, and let there be light in the firmament of the heaven, and let them be for signs. This is why God says in Job, can you lead forth the Mazzaroth, which means 12 signs? Do you know the audience of the heavens? Can you establish their rule on the earth? The stars foretell the future on the earth. They rule over the earth. Above your head is a giant clock which foretells everything you need to know. A month is a month because the moon travels around the 12 signs every 28 days. The sun tells the time of day. Stars foretell the time of year. Every single one of you is born into a specific alignment into the stars and planets. This is why everyone is different, and this is why everyone is on a different path. By finding out your personal chart, you can figure out certain events in your life. If you want a reading, you can now get them on my website. The link is in the bio. The Jordan River is your spine. The 7 lamps in the Bible are the 7 chakras. Your brain's the Garden of Eden. The pineal gland is the throne of God and the gateway to heaven. The Pope's staff represents the spine and the 2 Kundalini channels and the pineal gland. Salvation is salt. The brain produces a salt, a fluid which goes down the spine, which you must resurrect through your erectional energy back to the head, which is resh in Hebrew for head. By following the word of God, following your inner guide, you save your salt and you raise it. Once you do this, you then have the key into the kingdom of heavens, the realms beyond the physical, to access the dimensions within your mind. Also the Holy Grail, or the power symbol. In the Vatican, you have the pine cone, and this is the head. It is the Pope holding the pine cone. We are all God. There is no God outside of you. Everything is God. All religions were made to make you look outside yourself so that you can become powerless. All religions are corporations. It's all a scam to keep you asleep. Head is heaven, heel is hell. If your life is governed by power, food and lust, you're in hell. You have 3 brains, the gut, the heart and the brain. This is the temple of the Holy Spirit. This is the temple of God. God is consciousness. Now, if your consciousness is operating its life out of the gut region, you're in hell. Your life should be operated from the heart and the head. Matthew 6:10. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Your heart and brain are directly connected. Every thought you think in the brain produces an emotion felt in the heart. Whatever happens in heaven happens on earth. Heart rearranged is earth. Masons stand on the divided checkered board. This represents division because you have 2 heels. This is division, hell. You have 1 head. This is evenness, oneness, singularity. Heaven is even. This is why the Baphomet is male and female, up and down, representing division. Matthew 18:9. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than have to have 2 eyes and be thrown into the fire of hell. We need to balance the 2 hemispheres of the brain, balance the 7 energetic vortexes along our spine, and balance our spiritual and physical side of our beings. Nor shall they see here or see there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Do not look outside of you, do not look here or there. The God is within you, people. Luke 17:21. Religion is a scam. Jesus' life is a process that happens in the body. A sacred fluid is produced in the claustrum in the brain. When the moon enters your zodiac sign, the fluid comes down the spine to your sacrum bone, which is Jesus coming down from heaven to earth. The oil stays in the sacrum bone, which is Jesus dying for 3 days in the cave. If you preserve this oil by having an alkaline diet and saving your you-know-what energy, by activating the Kundalini, you raise the oil back to the pineal gland, which electrically charges the phytoluminescent crystals on the pineal gland and turns on 100% of the brain. Unless you are born again, you cannot see the kingdom of God. You are born again by activating 100% of the brain. When you raise the oil up the 33 vertebrae on the back of your spine, which is the 33 years of Christ. Jesus was crucified at Golgotha, which translates to a place in the skull. It's an internal process. This is why every religion has a sacred river, because the river is your spinal cord. It's also the stairway to heaven that Jacob saw in Genesis. Hence why he called the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face in Genesis 32:30. Peniel is the pineal gland in the center of the brain, the seat of the mind. This is why Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness in John 3:14. He isn't playing with the snake in the woods, he's raising the Kundalini. This is the snake. Jesus dying at 33 is symbolic from turning matter into spirit, turning to your spirit true form. Link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom. Jesus never existed. Jesus symbolizes the sun, with his 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs, 4 gospels for the 4 seasons of the sun. That's why he's called the risen savior, the light of the world, the Son of God. 7 days, 7 planets. They worship their God on Sunday because Jesus is the sun. Easter is actually called the Passover because this is when the sun passes the winter and enters Aries, when the sun springs things back into life, the summer. And this is when they eat lamb, because lamb is Aries, the ram. The sun dies on the Southern Crux constellation, the Cross, every year on the 22nd of December. On the 25th of December, it is born again every year because it moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the sun to the northern hemisphere. Jesus, the Son, was born a virgin every year, and this is why we celebrate Christmas. Horus, the Egyptian sun god, 12 disciples, born on the 25th, dead for 3 days and resurrected, did miracles and born a virgin. Same with Mithra. Judas stabs Jesus in the back and betrays him. The constellation Scorpio is a J for Judas, and when the sun hits Scorpio, this means the sun is now entering the winter, meaning it's going to die and become dead. So it's betrayed by the Scorpio, the constellation J. Here's Jesus walking on water. It's the sun. Freemasons always place the east at the top of their artwork and the north and south on the sides. This is because they understand the true cosmology of this realm, but you don't. North is the center of this realm. This is where all compasses point to because the Earth's electromagnetic field and all this energy centers at this point. It's the strongest point. South is anywhere that goes opposite from the center. So if you walk this way, that is south, and that is south, and that is south. West is when you go left around the magnetic pole. This is anti-clockwise. If you were here and started walking west, you would end up in the exact same spot. East is the clockwise turn around the center axis. So if you were here and walked east, you would end up in the exact same position. With that being said, east is the right turn, left is the west turn. They always show the ladder to the east. Why? Because the ladder is your spine, and the east means the right, which is the right hemisphere of your brain. In short, the right hemisphere produces a holistic view of reality. So this sees humanity as one unified consciousness. The left hemisphere breaks this down into individuals. This sees the trees, this sees the whole woods. So when Jesus says cast the net onto the right hand side of the boat and you will find fish, this represents cast your awareness into the right hemisphere and you will see the unification of the universe. You will see the higher self. This is the higher self. This is the ego. You will realize everything is connected and everything is all one. Use the code WISE20, all capital letters, for more information. Read this book. You do not see into reality. Light enters the eyes and the image is produced in the visual cortex. The world you see around you is actually within you. You are consciousness experiencing the program being ran by the central nervous system and the brain. There are 2 major systems in the body. The tree of life, the cardiovascular system, giving life to the physical body. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, the nervous system. You do not experience the external world. You experience electrical impulses on your nervous system, which gives your mind, your consciousness, the knowledge of good and evil. You are the Temple of Solomon, the temple of the Sol and the Mon, the sun and the moon, the soul and the mind. The sun is the soul, the moon is the mind. This is why we say lunatic. Luna is moon. And inside of your mind, you have a specific mood, which is moon. The soul system is within you. It's the 7 chakras, the 7 planets. The cycles of the sun being summer and winter happens within the body because you are a miniature world. In the summer, you feel better and you gain better ideas. In the winter, you feel less alive. I am you and you are me. It's a universe, a unite verse. Everything is one. We are all one consciousness, one mind, in separate physical bodies. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom. You are not the body, you're the invisible intelligence. If you shut your eyes, you can feel your awareness in the center of the brain. You refer to this being as I. The letter I and the number 1 is one line. Because there is only one, and we are all the one expressed in different bodies. The Egyptians knew this. This is the one giving out the Ankh to all the different life forms. This is why 1 is the only true number. Everything goes up in ones. You look with the 2 eyes, and you see with the inner eye your invisible intelligence. Because the inner eye gives you the perception of what you're looking at. Everything is neutral. Everything is one. It's your mind's perception that gives it a positive or negative charge. Me and you are the exact same consciousness. Why do you think the golden rule is to treat others like you want to be treated? We are all mind. Men means mind in Latin. Jesus was known as the fisher of men. He wasn't fishing men, he was fishing minds. Bright minds that are worthy of knowing the truth. God exists within the highest realm of your being, your mind. If you constantly listen to your God intelligence, which is always telling you the right thing to do, this is how to become closer to God. You need to stop living off the body's desire and turn to the higher self, the higher realms of your mind. The link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom, paperback and PDF. Turmeric is unhealthy, so is lemon and carrot. These foods were not created by nature. They were created in labs, genetically modified. None of these foods were here on the day of creation, which means they are unnatural to your body. Your body does not know what to do with them. Potato, matoke, and big bananas all contain starch. This will thicken the blood and cause clogs within your digestive system. All the foods that were here in the beginning were all alkaline. Our body needs to be in an alkaline state. When we consume acidic foods, this is when parasites and diseases can thrive. Once you move to the alkaline diet, you will never go back. This human health guide will tell you everything you need to know and everything you need to avoid to maintain optimal health. The solar system is a soul system. We started in the stars, then we incarnated into the heart of the soul system, which rearranged spells Earth. You descended from spirit into matter. The soul luring system lures your soul deeper into matter, which are the lower 3 chakras. You are the mind and soul, not the physical body. If you die and your mind is still attached to these worldly physical things, you will want to reincarnate here. The body corresponds with the higher and the lower self. You need to get out of power, food, and you know what, into the higher chakras, so that your mind is not attached to the worldly things when you die from here. This is why they get you so addicted to clothes and all of these physical things. The fast food restaurants are red, orange, and yellow because they keep you here. You need to connect with your true divine self, which is inside of the pineal gland. This is the Holy Grail, your neck and head, because the Holy Grail out of the physical world and ascension is connecting with your true consciousness form. You need to be united, not divided. You need to turn the masculine and feminine energies into balance, because heaven has the word even in it. You have to become even because your consciousness has no gender. The devil is the deveil. You deveil yourself by having these mental addictions to the worldly things. The soul luring system is inside of you. You have to deveil yourself out of the 7 seals in the Bible. The 7 seals are the 7 chakras because they seal your true self. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom. Jesus' death on a cross is metaphorical for us falling from the higher planes of consciousness into a material plane. We sacrificed all of the higher planes of consciousness only to experience the thin visible spectrum of light. This is the first dimension, the second dimension, and the third, length, height, and width. The cube is what gives birth to the material plane. So we are in the cube. This is up, down, front, back, left, and right. This is why the Jews wear the cube and the Mecca cube, and there are cubes all around the world. Cube unfolded is the cross, which is the Jesus cross, the body, because our consciousness died when it came here because we suffered a loss of the higher planes of consciousness. The universe is created out of light. Low vibrating light turns into matter. High vibrating matter turns back into light. We are human. Hu means light. Man is manifested. We are light manifested into matter. The Bible says we're born into sin. Sin is sign, which is time, because we're born into a material plane where time exists. However, the elites worship the material world. They want to rule the material world and keep your mind stuck in third dimensional awareness. This is why they teach you this and evolution. And this is why they give you the false atom. They've trapped your mind in materialism because they've taught you that the universe is only physical.
Stop wearing glasses. The longer you wear glasses and cover up your eyes, the thicker your glass gets, because your eyes become worse. Your brain will adapt to the new thickness of the lens, and the eye will start to work less. Your eyes are muscles. You need to train them to become stronger. You're blocking the sun's rays from getting into the eyes. Whatever is in your visual field goes into the brain, and then the brain will then affect the central nervous system. So whatever you see is having an effect on your whole body. This is why they don't want you looking at the sun anymore, because the sun's rays can actually heal the eyes and heal the body. This is why they promote sunglasses, because sunglasses block the sun from entering into your eyes and awakening your pineal gland and stimulating the body's electrical nervous system. So when you watch the solar eclipse tomorrow, you don't need to wear glasses, just watch it with your eyes.
Jesus' death on a cross is metaphorical for us falling from the higher planes of consciousness into a material plane. We sacrificed all of the higher planes of consciousness only to experience the thin visible spectrum of light. This is the first dimension, the second dimension, and the third, length, height, and width. The cube is what gives birth to the material plane. So we are in the cube. This is up, down, front, back, left and right. This is why the Jews wear the cube and the Mecca cube, and there are cubes all around the world. Cube unfolded is the cross, which is the Jesus cross, the body, because our consciousness died when it came here, because we suffered a loss of the higher planes of consciousness. The universe is created out of light. Low vibrating light turns into matter. High vibrating matter turns back into light. We are human. Hu means light. Man is manifested. We are light manifested into matter. The Bible says we're born into sin. Sin is sign, which is time, because we're born into a material plane where time exists. However, the elites worship the material world. They want to rule the material world and keep your mind stuck in third dimensional awareness. This is why they teach you this and evolution. And this is why they give you the false atom. They've trapped your mind in materialism because they've taught you that the universe is only physical.
Reptilians do not exist. It is metaphorical for using the reptilian part of our brain. The 3 parts of the brain correspond with the 3 parts of the body. If you're operating your life out of your gut, you're in hell, which is the reptilian animal state. Osiris represents the reptilian brain. This is why he's green. Top half of the body is the higher self. The lower half of the body is the lower self. If you're operating your life out of these lower 3 centers, this is hell. Instead, you want to use the higher brain, the neocortex, where critical thinking and rationality takes place. This is why Neo from the Matrix is called Neo, because he awakens and uses his higher brain. The devil and the angel on your shoulder is an internal battle between your higher and lower self. The devil has goat horns, which is a ground animal. The angel has wings, which is a higher animal, which represents the higher self. Jesus and Satan, Horus and Set, the higher self and the lower self. Religion has externalized the truth so that you believe Jesus and Satan are outside of you. This is done so that you do not transmute all of the negative parts of yourself into positive and become the God.
13 is not unlucky, they made you scared. 13 adds up to 4. The number 4 is your fourfold nature, mental, emotional, etheric and physical. 4 seasons of the yearly cycle, 4 gospels, the cross is the 4. Jesus has 12 disciples for the 12 zodiac signs. He is the 13th because it represents human consciousness. We are all the universe experiencing itself. We are all Christ, we are all God. The 12 zodiacs go around us because they are the energies that influence our mind, body and spirit. 13 is not an evil number. The word sacred is scared because they want you scared of the sacred things so that you do not do your research. The Bible is filled with cryptograms, metaphors, allegories and astrological codes. Jesus is not God. We should not worship God. We should become the God self, the best version of ourselves. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. Sex is sacred energy exchange. S is the serpent. The most powerful emotion a human can feel is the sexual desire. Serpent symbolizes sexual energy, which are the 2 Kundalini channels which go up from the base of the spine to the brain. Tree of knowledge of good and evil is the brain, the spine, the 2 hemispheres of the brain, masculine and feminine, and the serpent is the Kundalini sexual energy. The serpent is tempting you to release your sacred energy, which is the forbidden fruit the serpent tempted Eve to eat. Resurrection of Jesus is metaphorical. Res meaning head, Erection is sexual stimulation. The resurrection is raising the sexual energy from the base of the spine to the brain, the pineal gland. This then gives you the ability to use 100% of the brain. You can transmute this energy into critical thinking or awakening your third eye. We have all been sexually programmed since we were young because they are trying to reverse the genders. When a male releases, his estrogen levels go up. When a female releases, their testosterone goes up. Hence why the LGBT flag is the upside down colour spectrum. Red should be first, it's the lowest vibrational colour. Ancient mythology, there's always stories about killing the dragon or the serpents. This is symbolic for killing the lower nature of yourself because the serpent is always tempting you to release your sexual energy. It's an internal battle. Physical versions of the Book of Wisdom are now available. The link is in the bio to get. What you will see here is the etheric energy blueprint behind an object. Even though a section have been cut off, the energy body is still present. This is why when people lose their limbs, they can still feel it present, because the etheric body can never be broken. This proves that we are not the body. You are the spirit inside of the body. If you don't believe me, you can literally do this exercise yourself to activate your bodies. This is called astral projection. It's using your mind to project your consciousness into the astral plane, the realm of imagination. This was talked about in the Bible when Jesus walks on water. It's a metaphor for astral projection. The water is the ether, the barrier between the physical and the spiritual planes. Before you do this, you need to make sure you're in a good, high vibrational mindset. Whatever frequency you are vibrating on, you will match within the astral planes. For example, if you are vibrating very low, you will meet beings, entities that are vibrating very low. This is what we call demons. Once you are in the right mindset, you need to lie down flat with no body parts touching. Rest every single muscle and be still as possible. Close your eyes, breathe deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Focus your attention on the center of the brain, the place of the consciousness. You need to do this for at least 10 to 15 minutes until you are just left with an empty mind. Now you want to use your mind to imagine yourself pulling a rope up into the sky. Imagine yourself floating above your body. One thing that you must never do if you do successfully astral project is never look into the mirrors. The planets are not spinning balls in space. They are lights within the firmament. 7 planets give you the 7 days of the week. The Sunday for the sun, Saturn day for Saturn, Monday for moon. The physical world is made out of low vibrating light. 7 metals are the 7 planets. When the light of the 7 planets materialize, they give you the 7 metals. This is why they have the same symbol. They are actually 7 cosmic energetic bodies which influence our consciousness directly. All religions can trace back to the worship of the stars and the planets. The Jewish 7-branched candlestick are the 7 planets. The 7 archangels in the Book of Enoch are the 7 planets. Revelation 1:12, the 7 stars are the 7 angels of the churches. Elohim is plural, and in the Bible it says, "Then the Elohim said, let us make humans in our image after our likeness." We are made in the image of the stars and the 7 planets. They are not planets, they are 7 cosmic energies that give us the understanding and the ability to function in this reality. Job 38:32, can you lead forth the Mazzaroth in its season? Do you know the audience of the heavens? Mazzaroth means 12 signs, meaning the 12 zodiac signs. The stars are the start of the solar system, not solar system. And we descend from the stars into the 7 planets, which give us the 7 energy centers in the body. You can repost my content and gain 50% commission. Send your email into the Telegram group. The link is in the bio for this PDF. Pineapple is man-made, acidic. Pears are alkaline. Apples, alkaline. Do not use the shiny ones, they are waxed. Instead, use the non-shiny. Seeded dates are alkaline. Big bananas are man-made, full of starch, acidic. If the oranges have seeds, alkaline. Cherries are alkaline. Strawberries, alkaline. Dragon fruit, acidic, man-made. Pomegranate is harmful, it's acidic, it's man-made. Seedless watermelons, acidic, man-made. Figs, alkaline. Papaya, alkaline. Bell peppers, alkaline. Garlic is toxic, acidic. Lettuce, acidic. Cucumber, alkaline. Tomatoes, alkaline, very high in iron. Gain the ability to shop with precision for products and foods that are beneficial for the human body. This human health guide grants you a key to revitalize your body and bring about the feeling of happiness and well-being. Heaven and hell are not places, they are mind states. Heel is hell, the root chakra. Head is heaven, earth rearranged is heart. The 3 parts of the brain control the 3 sections of the body. Depending on which brain is dominant, you are either manifesting heaven or hell. If you're thinking with your gut area all the time, you are manifesting hell. The devil has goat features, which is a ground animal. The angel has wings, which is an air animal. The angel is your higher self, the devil is the lower self. Hence why the devil is red, because red is the lowest vibrational colour. The devil is the deveiling, because you are mental, astral, etheric and physical. You are deveiling yourself by sitting in the lower states of consciousness. The body does not live, it is only maintained by the consciousness that is within it. And this consciousness is either operating in hell or heaven, depending on the three brains that you use dominantly. You descended from spirit into matter. Now you need to go back up to your true spirit form and move up the stairway to heaven, which is your spine. They've externalized it and turned it into a religion to hide the true power of yourself. The square symbolizes the physical plane, the triangle is the etheric plane, and the circle is the eternal plane. You need to think outside the box. The box is the cross unfolded, the cube, the physical world. The Christians believe 144,000 will go to heaven. This is actually a frequency you need to achieve to go from the root to the crown chakra, because your head is heaven and your heel is hell. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom PDF. The chakras are not what you think. They are 7 vortexes which our consciousness feeds into our physical body. You have a mental, astral, etheric and physical body. They exist within the etheric plane, which binds your spirit to your physical form. Hence why in the Bible they are known as the 7 seals. It states the Lamb is worthy of opening the 7th seal, because the Lamb is Aries and Aries rules the head region to open the 7th seal, the 7th chakra. They're called the 7 seals because they seal your universal intelligence, your invisible consciousness. Stop working on your chakras and work on your mind, because your mind is the reason why your chakras are being abused or unbalanced. Each chakra has a vice which you need to turn to a virtue in order for them to be balanced. Saturn, Satan, the devil. This is why the devil's always red, because it's the root chakra, which is low frequency. This is to do with your survival. You descended from spirit to matter. Now you need to climb the stairway to heaven, which is your spine, and go from matter to spirit. Heaven is even. This is why Jesus is pointing at the heart chakra, which is the balance point. When your vortexes are balanced, you have a deeper connection with your universal intelligence. Your higher self will have an easier job manifesting itself throughout the body. The world is stuck in the lower 3 energy centers, lust, food and power. Instead, we want to aim to use the higher parts of the body, expression, intuition and wisdom. Jesus and Satan do not exist. Jesus and Satan do not exist. It's a metaphor for the war between your consciousness and your body. Religion is a scam. Your body desires lust, food and power, but your consciousness wants love, expression, intuition and wisdom. They've externalized the truth so that you think that you are your body, which is hell, heel. The church is a business, and it's to keep you in your lower state of consciousness so that they can control you. Every religious text has an exoteric and an esoteric meaning. Exoteric is what is taught to the public, which is external. The esoteric is the internal teachings of the scriptures. Jesus and Satan, Horus and Set, the devil and the angel on your shoulder. The reason why religions have so much in common is because they're all different ways of metaphorically talking about the battle between your consciousness and your physical body. They want you to believe that you're physical, to hide all the different dimensions of yourself, mental, astral and etheric. When you give praise to external gods with outside of you, you are giving your energy into the astral plane. They're literally summoning your energy within their spirit realm because of religion. When you empty the mind and focus on your internal self, you attract energy to you, which can be used to create your life. We are all God in disguise. Our consciousness is God, but the body is of this world. Why do you think the side of your head regions are called temples? Because the head region is the temple of God, the temple of your consciousness. This book will tell you everything you need to know. The link is in my... Television is tele-vision. You turn on the television, you get programs. They reprogram your subconscious mind, which manifests 90% of your daily basis behavior and thought patterns. This is the hidden part of the mind, which manifests your heart to beat without you being conscious of it. Broadcasting is casting spells to a broad audience. North, east, west and south. News. Your devices, the devil's vice, are black mirrors, which were black obsidian mirrors which were used to communicate with the astral plane. Your life is a direct manifestation of your mind. This is why you need to take care of what you see, say and hear. Govern, ment. Ment means mind. Govern the mind. The devil is red because it's the lowest vibrational color, which is the root chakra. The root chakra is all to do with survival mode. In order for you to survive, you will kill and be in your animal nature. This is why the so-called devil has a goat head. The same goat you see in the music industry. This is why you call them the goat. They have not sold their soul to Satan. Satan is a demonic energy within the astral plane. These have exchanged money in order for them to portray and manifest negative energy through the music, so that they keep you in your lower states of consciousness in the root chakra. Music is frequency, and whatever you listen to, you are becoming that frequency. And the words that they say in the music are staying within your subconscious mind, which manifests your behavior. The devil's tail is a triangle pointing down because it's a part of your Merkaba, ascension and descension. Devil's tail is the downward triangle. Your Merkaba is your light body. Mer equals light, Ka equals spirit, Ba equals body. Merkaba. It's your celestial sphere to portray different planes of reality. The devil's tail is the descension. Your head is heaven, your heel is hell. God, your consciousness is in the brain. If you have this PDF, I've added new pages, just re-download it. The link is in the bio. These CIA documents reveal that thought waves can become a physical particle. Thoughts manipulate your universal hologram, which is your electromagnetic field. This proves that we are in a three-dimensional construct, which is a holographic world, and your thoughts and emotions manipulate this three-dimensional construct. You literally create your own reality based off your thoughts. You are an invisible consciousness, which is controlling this physical avatar, which manipulates the holographic construct of the external world through your thoughts and emotions. The things you own in life, the friends you have, are all reflections of your past thoughts. You are a result of your thoughts. The elites know this knowledge, and this is why they keep you on the lowest vibration possible, so that you manifest the worst possible reality. This is why they're called a government. Ment means mind. They govern your mind through information. Your information is your perception, and your perception is your reality. The word of the day is, people, you can get anything you want in this life just by working and changing your thoughts. When you change your thoughts, further down the line, your external world will change, because your external world mirrors your thoughts. We are literally in a holographic game, people. Words are secretly encoded, and they cast spells on your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind takes everything you say as diet has the word die, because the food they tell you to eat nowadays makes you sick. Meat has the word eat, which is a subconscious spell for you to consume blood and flesh, because consuming this food keeps you stuck in third-dimensional awareness, in the lowest state of consciousness. Veganism is an anagram for saving me, because when you stop consuming flesh, your consciousness can raise past the 3D construct. Animals are easily programmed and tamed like a pet, and this is why they want you to consume it, because you are what you eat. Your cells every 90 days turn into the food that you've consumed. This is why the population is aging at a rapid rate, because the food that we are consuming is dead. When we eat electrical live foods, we age less. Slaughter has the word laughter, because they want you to laugh at the slaughtering of animals. Words create perception, and the food industry utilize more neutral words to create a better perception in your mind. Instead of saying beef flesh, they say beef mince. Or instead of saying a chicken fetus, they say egg. Or rotten cheese is milk. Illnesses exist on a low frequency. When we consume low vibrational foods, we lower our frequency to match the illnesses. If you have something wrong with your body, it's more than likely that you have an acidic-based environment. Bacteria can thrive in an acidic-based environment. We need to raise our frequency and turn to the alkaline environment in order to heal our body. If I have anything wrong with my body, I'll do 2 weeks with one fruit to cleanse the digestive system. Then I'll go on a fast, only consuming water and herbal teas. When your digestive system is inactive, the energy used to digest food can be used to heal the body. Mother Nature provides you with everything to survive and thrive, and the king knows this. Veganism rearranged is saving me, because when you consume meat, you are consuming adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is the blood from a petrified, slaughtered being. It contains fear hormones. You descended from spirit to matter. Now you need to climb the stairway to heaven, which is your spine, and go from matter to spirit. The chakras are not what you think. They are 7 vortexes which our consciousness feeds energy into our physical body. You have a mental, astral, etheric, and physical body. They exist within the etheric plane, which binds your spirit to your physical form. Hence why in the Bible they are known as the 7 seals. It states the Lamb is worthy of opening the 7th seal, because the Lamb is Aries, and Aries rules the head region to open the 7th seal, the 7th chakra. They're called the 7 seals because they seal your invisible consciousness. Heaven is even. This is why Jesus is pointed at the heart chakra, which is the balance point. When your vortexes are balanced, you have a deeper connection with your universal intelligence. Your higher self will have an easier job manifesting itself throughout the body. The world is stuck in the lower 3 energy centers, lust, food, and power. Instead, we want to aim to use the higher parts of the body, expression, intuition, and wisdom. Veganism rearranged is saving me because consuming electrical foods feeds your spirit, which is your spiral, your spiraling electromagnetic field, because you're a biological battery, hence why you get charged in a court. Every cell in your body every 90 days transforms into the foods that you've been eating. Consumption of rotten flesh has no electromagnetism behind it. The fruit is electric and full of light. Lions' intestines are shorter. Our teeth are not made to rip open flesh. Meat-eating animals only live up to 15 years. Vegan animals live up to 40 years. Why do you think the Bible talks about humans living over 500 years? All of the geniuses of the past were all vegan. Humans possess a trichromatic vision, which means we are pretty much attracted to seek colours naturally, because our brains are wired to seek colourful food. Each animal and every being has specific qualities in its DNA. For example, bears are ferocious and strong. Camels have the ability to walk thousands of miles, and cats are majestic and sneaky. When you eat these animals, you are eating the virtues of that animal. You literally are what you eat. Meat is flesh, cheese is rotten milk, and eggs are fetuses. These terms have been created to conceal the true nature of what you are actually consuming. Stop eating when the sun is setting. When you chew, chew until it becomes a liquid. Your digestive system can't digest chunks of food. The sun powers your digestive system and your body. When the sun is not present and you eat something, this is going to cause problems within your digestive system. Stop mixing foods. Mixing animal flesh with potato and bread will cause the food to solidify within your stomach, leading to constipation and the birth of parasites within your body. Acne is undigested food coming through your skin. The digestive system cannot digest all of the toxins, so it has to find a way out, and it comes through the skin. Your cells are electric, your brain is electric, your central nervous system is electric, and you are electromagnetic. The body runs off electricity. It is an electrical machine. Therefore, your body and your cells needs to be charged by electric food, which is grown under the electric sun. Sun's rays crystallize within the food that is grown underneath the sun. This is why you can see the glowing aura of an apple compared to a slice of flesh. This is dead. You do not want dead things within your body. It will not charge you. Your teeth are not made to rip open flesh. Veganism rearranged is saving me. And your intestines are not like a lion's or a dog's. All the legends in the past knew this, and this is why they were all vegan. The number one mistake that you make is that you think they wear jewelry just because they are rich. Firstly, the crowns are made out of gold and other gemstones like crystals, which all contribute to amplifying the frequency of your energetic field. Usually they wear purple to symbolize royalty. They wear this on the head because the head is connected to your crown chakra, your highest state of consciousness, which is purple. A lot of ancient cultures used to be decked out in jewelry. They used to hold canes with metal on the bottom and the top because the earth produces magnetic energy, and by grounding, you are actually amplifying your field. When the body is producing a high frequency because of the amplified field, they would be able to sync up with a higher consciousness. This is why you should fill your spaces with precious metals and crystals, because the atoms that create these metals and gemstones are resonating on a high frequency. I have a few of these orgonite technology necklaces left. If you want one, the link is in the bio. My new favorite thing to do is to show you how powerful you are. We are intelligently designed. The eyes contain 137 million cells within 1 square inch in the retina. To put this into perspective, this is 1 million dots and this is 1 square inch. And this is your retina. Your retina consists of 137 million cells. They say this is because of evolution, which is just another theory created by Charles Darwin, a Freemason. Everything physical you see comes from the invisible. Everything you see in the physical plane was manifested by the mind. The phone that you are holding was an idea in someone's mind before they manifested it physically. So therefore, the whole physical world that you see exists within the mind of God. Essentially, we are all existing in the mind of God, and we are all God fractured into separate bodies. This is why Michelangelo painted God within the brain, because the pineal gland is the connection to the mind, which is the divine or God. And one more thing before you go, if you don't believe in God, then you are delusional, because this painting was painted by a painter. Therefore, this physical world was manifested from the mind of God, and we are a microcosm of that mind, and we can use our minds to create things within God's creation. We are made in His image. We are a fracture. If you believe in evolution and know God, debate me. Heaven and hell are states of consciousness. 144,000 faithful Christians will go to heaven. This is nothing but a frequency to go from the root chakra to the crown. When you achieve this frequency, you gain the armor of God, which is the strong electromagnetic field to protect you. Raising the frequency of this field is what allows you to pass the veils from the physical into the higher realms of consciousness. Devil is de-veil, because doing evil, doing the devil, lowers your state of consciousness. The resurrection of Christ is nothing but a metaphor for rising the erection, rising your sexual energy up to the head. The devil is red because it represents the lowest frequency, which is the root chakra. Keeping your emotions in balance and your thoughts and actions aligned with the divine mind, the higher self, this is how you reach the highest states. By doing this, you gain the Holy Spirit, your spiraling electromagnetic field. Even the food that we are consuming is keeping our bodies, minds, and spirits stuck in the lower states of consciousness, third dimensional awareness. To reach these higher states, you have to go from acid to alkaline, Saturn to the sun, Satan to Christ. You have to consume the food that contains the high amounts of electricity and energy. This book provides you with all of the syncretisms between science and religion, and everything you need to know in one book. Stop listening to music. It's bad because it reprograms your subconscious mind by putting you in a hypnotic state. You want to dance or do something when you listen to music because it puts you in hypnosis. You remember the lyrics so vividly because it rewrites your subconscious mind. Every word they are saying in the song is molding and shaping your mind in some form or way. Why do you think you want to hurt someone when you listen to drill music, or want to dance hard when you listen to techno? When you listen to music, you literally cannot think because it's putting you in hypnosis. Spotify and Apple Music are all tuned to 440 Hz, which shuts down the right hemisphere of your brain because they do not want you thinking creatively or intuitionally. Music creates thought loops within your mind. This is why you feel nostalgia when you listen to an old song you used to listen when you were a child. The repetitive music and beats creates thought loops in your mind. In nature, nothing is repeating. Everything is constantly transforming. It's the same with your mind. Your mind should be constantly transforming to bigger and better things. Listen to music in 432 Hz or 528 Hz and make sure it has no demonic lyrics and no repetitive. The toroidal field is a multi-dimensional energy pattern. It is a universal blueprint in which all energy and matter manifests. It can be visualized as a donut-shaped configuration where energy is in a continuous loop. The central axis in which the energy goes in and then back out is called the hyperboloid. And this corresponds with our spines. Our spines are also a hyperboloid for this electromagnetic torus field. The flow of energy within our torus field and our body follows the same principles that govern the larger universal patterns. Thoughts and emotions are also forms of energy which manifest through our electromagnetic torus field. A stone thrown into water will create ripples, which will create incandescent circles which travel outward. This is the two-dimensional representation of how we visualize sound waves. In three-dimensional space, sound waves propagate in all directions, which creates a spherical wave front. When these sound waves expand, they create the torus field shape. When we speak, we create vibrational waves which expand in all directions into torus fields, and this is why talking is called torque, torus fields. The words we say have an effect on other people's fields and your fields itself, affecting reality in all directions. Your body is a prison. The real matrix is your consciousness being stuck in third-dimensional awareness, the physical body. Every religion teaches that this world is the false world and there is a heaven or another base reality. You're made out of cells, a prison cell, and your ribcage is a cage. This is why the Bible says, do not love this world nor the things it offers you. Your mind operates outside of this physical plane without time, space, and matter and no limitations. Therefore, material addiction and emotions is what ties you to the physical plane. But heaven is not what you think. Sin means sine, which is time, the sine wave of time. And negative emotions such as hate, fear, and jealousy only exist in a world of time. Therefore, love, contentment, and joy can exist without time. Therefore, your emotions is what takes you away from God, which is your higher self, your higher mind, your pure consciousness, which exists outside of this physical body. This is why you call it my body. This is mine. It's a possession. It's not you. You are the I am. There is another plane beyond the physical plane called the astral plane, and this is where the realm of imagination or spirits are, and you can enter this through astral projection. Heaven is the higher astral realms where your mind can operate without limitation. Snakes and ladders is truth in plain sight. Your spine is the ladder and the Kundalini is the snake. The snake in the tree of knowledge of good and evil is also the Kundalini in the central nervous system, the spine up to the brain. The serpent is always tempting you to release your sexual energy, because sexual energy is the most powerful and potent emotion the human can feel. So when you overcome it, you are fighting the snake. And when you retain this energy, you can then resurrect, which means rise-erection. Raising the erection to the brain to illuminate the pineal gland. Why do you think the word sex has the S in it, which is the serpent, the sexual essence? If you release your fluids all the time, you will become mineral deficient. Your sexual energy is the most powerful and potent energy within your body. It is your soul force. Even if you're not transmuting this energy into Kundalini, you can transmute it into critical thinking or other aspects of your life. Watching them dirty websites and masturbating all the time will destroy your mental health, because in your mind you are literally that person in the corner of a room watching two people have pleasure. What you do in your alone time will manifest into light into other aspects of your life. This is why you will not be confident, you will not radiate, because you know what you are doing on a deep level on your own, and you know it's disgusting. Spirituality is a psyop, people. It's all about your mind. It's about transmuting all the negative aspects of your mind into positive. When you change your mind, you change your body, your life, and your spirit. Porn drains your sexual energy, which is your orange chakra, and this is why it's orange. Sexual energy takes over the mind and influences your body. This is why it's the most potent emotion the human can feel. It is symbolized as the serpent tempting you to eat the fruit, because it's tempting you to release your sacred fluids. Sexual transmutation is transmuting the sexual energy into other aspects of your life. It can either be Kundalini, critical thinking, or even the gym. The spine has two coils wrapped around it, which is the energy channels for your Kundalini to go up to the brain. The resurrection of Christ is nothing but a metaphor for rise erection, rising your erection sexual energy to the pineal gland to activate 100% of our brains, to activate Christ consciousness. This is known as being born again and seeing the kingdom of God in John 3:3 for the 33 vertebrae on your spine. Your sexual fluids have a strong energy behind them, and this energy can create a whole new human being. So imagine how powerful that is if you retained it. We become mentally, physically, and spiritually stronger by holding this fluid. This is why it's free, because it makes you weak. You are the product. Females represent magnetism. This is why they are curvy and attractive. Males represent electricity, which is the action-taking force. This is because everything is created out of electromagnetism. This is the real atom. This field spirals while coming inwards and outwards. The out force is the male, which is the red, and the in force is the female. This creates red shift, the out force, the in force blue shift. This is why everything is red and blue. Roses are red, violets are blue. God, Allah, Elohim are all names for the Supreme Being. They all add up for 26. 26 is 8. 8 is the Torus field. God is light. God is energy. Everything is God. We are all God. 0 and 1, the binary code of all creation. 0, the cosmic womb. 1 is the action taking force. Male and female comes from the Torus field. 0 and 1. The phi symbol is the Torus field. Physical is the phi cycle, the cycle of the atom, which is a Torus field. Day and night, we live in cycles. If you open your eyes, you will see magnetism in every aspect of creation. Everything physically is electric. Everything runs off electricity. Without electricity, your body couldn't move and the world wouldn't exist. Your brain is an electrical computer, and it is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. There is no external world. Your consciousness is experiencing a program being ran by the brain and central nervous system. When you touch something, this is your brain's interpretation of the central nervous system's electrical impulses. The vision that you see is produced in the visual cortex in your brain. It's because the universe is a mental projection. The mind is personified as the Garden of Eden in the Bible. And in the Garden of Eden, there are the two trees. The tree of life, which is the cardiovascular system, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the central nervous system. This gives your body the life. This gives you the knowledge of good and evil. The power symbol is the brain and spine, because the brain is what runs this simulation to your consciousness. It's a central processing computer. This is why the ancients personified God inside of the brain, touching Adam. Adam means the body. God is your consciousness. This is why your head is called a temple. The temple. Tem is a place of worship. El is an ancient Canaanite name for God. This is why Jesus says the kingdom of God is within you. This is why the Bible teaches not to love this world, and this world is not the true world, because heaven is the true reality, which is the reality of your mind. That's the true realm. The word Lucifer also means the bright star. He fell from heaven. Now the star is your 5-pointed star, which represents you, your 5 senses. So when you let your 5 senses rule over your mind and your consciousness, this is when you fall from heaven. There is no external world. The Bible is written in metaphors, and everything is internal. Everything exists within your mind. There is no true. Your phone is a digital footprint of your mind. iPhone, you refer to yourself as I, which is the eye of consciousness, is being manifested digitally into your phone. That's why Siri rearranged is Iris, and this is your iris. Every text you send, every call that you speak, and every search that you do is being stored and being fed into an artificial consciousness called AI. Everyone in the world has manifested their invisible minds into a carbon footprint, which is now created an artificial consciousness which is running off the algorithms that we have created. The more data we feed into these devices, the more advanced this artificial consciousness will come and rule humanity. The more data we feed into these devices, the more advanced this artificial consciousness will come and rule humanity. If something is free, you are the product. They all have 2 O's because they're watching you, they're collecting your data. Make sure to join my Telegram, link is in my bio. Your phone takes an infrared photo of you every 3 to 5 seconds. Your phone screens, TV screens, and computer screens all give off blue light, which creates permanent retina damage, which cannot be reversed. And this is why I use anti-blue light glasses whenever I use technology, to save my eyes and to save your brain, because whatever you see affects your whole body. The link is in my bio if you want to get these. They come in a nice little case. You're cursing yourself if you do this. It's the Antichrist cross, which represents the brain and the heart and cutting the connection. The reason why this is bad is because the heart and the brain are directly connected. The cranial brain does the thinking, but every thought you think creates an emotion felt in the heart. In fact, the heart has its own neural network of 40,000 specialized cells, which are the same ones in your brain. So the heart is your second brain. However, the cranial brain has 2 hemispheres, therefore thinking with it can cause confusion and dualism. The heart has an intelligence of its own, just like the brain. However, it's a singular organ. It does not have 2 hemispheres. So when we say follow your heart, this is a deep meaning because the heart has an intelligence of its own which is guiding you. And this is why Jesus is always pointing at the heart. In Freemasonry, the heart is symbolized as the book because the heart intelligence is what you need to read to guide you through this life experience. The heart is what tells you what is right and what is wrong. And when you follow your heart long enough, it takes you to your life purpose. It's easy to listen to your heart intelligence. You have to turn off the thoughts, place your hand on your heart just like Jesus is, and this will tell you the right answer. They don't want us connected to our hearts because we are all an infinite consciousness expressed in different bodies, and love is the unifying force that will bring Meat is poison. Fruits and vegetables assimilate with your body, meaning they become one with your cells. Illnesses show up in your field before it manifests in your body. Therefore, every illness is a frequency. And this is what quantum healing is. They scan your electromagnetic field and generate a frequency to heal it. Illnesses exist on a low vibration, so when we consume flesh, we are negatively impacting our spirit, our frequency, to match illnesses. When we raise our frequency through positive emotion, thoughts, and eating electrical food which does not run off from you when you try to eat it, this raises your frequency, and then you no longer match the frequency of diseases. Meat might have some nutritious value to your physical body, however, it destroys your spirit. The negative energy the animal was feeling when it was being slaughtered is still within the meat. You have been programmed to consume adrenochrome, which is blood-consuming adrenaline, which is in the meat. It's a psychological warfare. They employ neutral terms to cover up the true meaning of the food, because the words become our reality, our perception. They called flesh meat. They called rotten milk cheese. If you want to upgrade your health, think positive, feel positive, charge your body on the earth every single day, listen to positive frequencies, cut out the demonic music, and eat vegetables and fruits raw. And the fluids in your body are in a cycle, a rhythm with the moon, because the moon affects the liquids in your body. This is why women have a menstrual cycle, every month. So the full moon is a high energy. This is when the liquids in your body are being pulled the most by the celestial moon. Sun is masculine, the moon is feminine, emotion and intellect. So the emotion is being affected by the moon, which is our mood. So on a full moon, this is when the lunatics come out. When the moon enters the sign that you were born in, your sun sign, a sacred fluid is released from the brain down to the spine, and we must raise this up the 33 vertebrae of our spine to be crucified in the skull, Golgotha. The planets are not physical rocks, they are energies which influence the earth and our bodies, our consciousness. Astrology is so important, and this is why the ancients mapped the celestial constellations. This book has everything you need to know. The link is in my bio. The Book of Wisdom PDF or paperback. Praying is spellcasting. When something goes wrong in your life and you start praying, you're using words to alchemically change your external world. This is a spell, but you are doing it wrong. When you talk, you're creating Torus fields, an electromagnetic field, because magic is magnetism, influencing magnetic fields. And you do this every time you talk. However, when you pray from a place of negativity, from a place of suffering, you are sending negative energy out into the ether, and you will get more negative energy back. Instead, you want to pray from a high vibration and believe you already have something. Every word you say is molding and shaping your mind, and your mind is the root cause of your external world. And when people place their hands together to pray, they're actually balancing the two hemispheres of the brain, because they represent the hemispheres of the brain. If you want to protect your electromagnetic field around your body, this EMF technology necklace will help you. This sign is not the devil horns, it's the moon crescent. Moon is mood, which is emotion. The moon crescent on top of the head symbolizes emotion ruling over our mind, our body, our life. Devil is red because the red is the lowest vibrational color. And this is you when you are operating your life in your animal nature. The devil is the ground animal, the lower self. The bird is the angel, which is the higher self. When we see the man standing on the moon, this represents conquering the emotion, and they no longer govern your life. Your emotions change all the time, and this is symbolized as the moon phases. Money rules your emotions, and this is why money has moon within it. A demon is actually your emotions. Lucifer fell from heaven to earth. Lucifer means star. The 5-pointed star is your 5 senses. When your 5 senses rule over your life, this is when you are becoming Lucifer, Satan, or the devil, which is the inverted pentagram. This is spirit on the top. The inverted one is spirit on the bottom, because your spirit is no longer controlling your body. It's being ruled by the lower mind, by the 5 senses and your emotions. God and the devil exist within yourself. It's a battle between your higher mind and lower mind, between the five senses and your mind, your consciousness. Religion has externalized the truth, so they keep you in your animal nature. Stop worshipping God, become the God self, because Freemasonic compass is a compass and a square. Compass for the circles, the square for the square. Circle is the eternal plane. This is the mind, the soul, the spirit, which is within us, where there is no time, no space, no matter. This is the no beginning, no end. The square has beginning and end. This is the physical plane. This is where material things manifest from the mind, the eternal plane. This is where time, space, and matter and limitations exist. The Leonardo da Vinci Vitruvian Man is showing you the man in the square with the eternal circle outside of the square. The circle, which is the mind, the eternal self, the consciousness, manifests the physical plane. It is circles over squares, which is why the compass is on top of the square. The G is 7, because the 7 planets or spheres of energy manifest this physical material world. This is the generative principle of the 7 planets, the 7 days of the week, the 7 metals, the 7 diatonic tones, 7 colors. The celestial bodies are spheres, and they rule over the earth, which is astrology. They give their energy to the earth, influencing the earth. The earth is the square. This is spheres over the square. We need to think outside of the box to reach our eternal self, which is mind. The mind is eternal, it is infinite, it has no limitations. Everything can exist in the mind. There is no limitation. There is a hidden meaning behind Easter. Warning, if you believe in Christianity, you might not believe it after this video. Easter is not the resurrection of Jesus, it's the resurrection of the sun turning into spring. The winter time is symbolized as death because everything dies in the winter. When the sun enters Aries, this is the Lamb, which is the Lamb of God. Everything springs back to life and arises. Aries is an anagram for arise. The Jews call this the Passover because the sun has now passed the winter and entered Aries. This is why they sacrifice the lamb. Aries, the spring, is the true New Year's, and this is when Ramadan is celebrated. Ramadan, Ra, is the Egyptian sun god. As within, so without. What happens outside of you happens within you. You must raise the solar plexus energy to the brain. And this is when you arise to Aries. This then creates the resurrection of Christ, which is Christ consciousness, which is activating the pineal gland to create enlightenment. And this symbolizes your life going from the winter into the summertime. New light, new beginnings. You are born again. The Bible is filled with metaphorical and allegorical stories. And this is why we all need to. The Bible is filled with metaphorical and allegorical stories, and this is why we all need to read it right so that we can gain a deeper. There is a hidden meaning behind this symbolism that astronauts do. Warning, this information is not for everyone and your mind might just be altered after watching this. It symbolizes speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. Your external world that you look into is actually truly internal. Light enters the eyes and it goes to the visual cortex at the back of the brain, and this is what produces the image that we see. Light is a form of wave. It is a light wave, and light waves carry information. This information is given to the visual cortex, and then the visual cortex creates the image. The information carried on the wave of light has an effect on your brain and then has an effect on the whole of your central nervous system and your cells. This is why you feel darkness within you when you see something very sensitive. Because what we see, hear and say has an effect on our whole central nervous system and our cells. So this is why you should never speak, see or hear no evil. Race doesn't exist. Your brain is not your mind. Your brain is a central processing computer which connects the 5 senses. You do not see into reality. Light is sucked through the eyes and the image is produced at the back of the brain. You are the consciousness experiencing the program being ran by the central nervous system. Europeans or white people live in an environment where there is not much sun, so their hair droops downwards to cover their necks for warmth. Melanin is a product of the sun. Their hair grows outwards towards the sun. People's bodies are a product of the environment they live in. I am you and you are me. We are all part of an infinite consciousness expressed in different bodies. The Egyptians knew this. The Ankh is the symbol for life. This is the one giving the life to all the different life forms and bodies. Every single one of you refers to yourself as I. I is the number one, which is one line. We are all the one consciousness in different bodies. One is the only true number. Everything goes up in ones because we all come from the one. The 7 colours come from the one white light. Everything is one. You are the one observing your mind. This is your soul. Every single one of you is a soul. We are all the exact same infinite consciousness. Become a member of the Wisdom Academy. Use the code 4U for 26% off.